you know what baffles me is the people that go into marriages knowing that the spouse is a piece of shit.
They think they're gonna change.
It's like, wait, so you thought him saying "I do" would have all of a sudden made him a better human being?
Well, what I've discovered, what I've seen too, the person that you marry on your wedding day is the best version of themselves. If you don't like who they are on that day, baby, they
Please
do
don't
not get better.
to them. Please do not get married to them.
It goes decline. It declines. It does not go up. They're not going to magically, after getting married, be a better person. They're going to, who they are the wedding day is the best version you will ever go get.
Let's talk about some stuff. You right. I do got some deeper topics on this one.
Do.
Well, I was looking at our analytics last week. Last week. And in the analytics, it will tell us what videos is recommending our video. So you know how YouTube, when you get to the end, it'll recommend other videos. And one of them was about women that was doing that regrets getting married.
Which is wild. I don't know what they got to do with us. But anyway,
I was like,
okay.
I said, how many women is it that just regrets getting married? And this woman had did like a whole compilation of it.
I'm sure.
So you know what my messy behind does?
Watched them.
Oh, I did watch it. Yeah, of course. I also went straight to them comments too.
That's what the juice is. That's what the gold is.
And they did not disappoint. So it had women that regretted getting married giving advice to women that are not married. And this is what I took one of the comments, and this is what it said. 1, if you are only a girlfriend or a fiance, you are still single. So don't do wife duties until you're married.
See, this is what I said. You sound wrong.
I'm not done.
That's what I said.
Wife duties include getting pregnant and having children, maid and laundry service, sex on demand, living together, providing housing for him, and helping him with the bills. So that's 1. Let's discuss.
You know that's what I said. And everybody like I'm so wrong. Now, I don't mean go out here and be popping your thing on everybody. That's not what I said. I said, what I basically am saying is you are not fully committed to that person. That's all it means.
I agree with that. I don't think it means you're single, but I do agree that it doesn't mean that you're fully committed. That means if
things change, you are free to go. That's all that means.
Exactly.
If things change, you are free to go.
At any point you could decide, well, we're done.
Yeah, we don't mean cheat on people. That ain't what that mean. That ain't what that mean.
To me, it doesn't mean you're single, but it doesn't mean you're fully committed.
I think the point of her saying single, just remind yourself, you ain't married. Right.
You're not attached yet.
Yeah. You might have a commitment, but it's not
a commitment to them.
An obligation. Those are two different things.
Exactly.
That's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it wasn't even the single thing that I was harping on with that advice, because I think that is actually really good advice, and I think a lot of women and some men too,
people, period, just need to know where you stand and act accordingly. That's it.
But women historically or stereotypically are the ones that is quick to hop on that wifey bandwagon. And there's a whole reason that men call their girlfriends wifey. Because they acting accordingly. They're acting like it.
It all started back in the day with them stupid ass promise rings. That is what fucked it up. I don't want no fucking promise ring. You either marry me or you're not.
But I agree. I don't think people should. I don't think that people should live with their boyfriend or girlfriend before, at the very least,
a conversation about being engaged or something.
I lived with a boyfriend before. I will never live with somebody before they become more than just a boyfriend again. I don't think anyone, not just women, but I can only speak from the perspective of a woman. But I don't think that we should be doing the whole, definitely don't get pregnant by somebody that you ain't married to.
Well, but the thing is, what blows my mind is these are planned children. It's not like these are oopsie daisies, because I had a oopsie daisy.
Yeah, well, I was about to say
But
haven't we all, but I haven't, I guess so.
yeah, but I'm like, these are planned children with somebody who's made no commitment to you. On either way, both parts. Cause she ain't committed to you and you ain't really committed to him in that
And then
way.
the crazy thing is the providing housing for him.
Oh, I never did it. I
He
ain't
was
never
like,
gonna do
hold up,
that. I'm
hold
too
up.
selfish.
And I can't say I never did that. The 6-year mistake lived with me for a good portion of the time while I was the one paying all the bills. But I'm just like, yeah, I wish I wouldn't have done all that stuff, especially the sex on demand. Why are you giving sex on demand? Give it when you want it. If you don't want it,
When
don't
you
give
feel
it.
like it. My thing is, like I said, old dude trying to move a Xbox in my house and I went off. Yet alone him thinking he lived there. I was like, Stella, get that shit out of my house immediately.
Immediately.
Matter of fact, take the little toothbrush I have for you too. Take everything, because you done overstepped your bounds. You done pissed me off. Take it all. Take your drawers. Take your toothbrush. Take it all. I don't want none of it in my house no more.
Well, I can say that I've done some of this stuff.
Well, it's because you're being kind hearted.
While just
Just
being a girlfriend.
life didn't hit you hard yet, but you
No,
found out.
I've said
You
it
found
so many
out.
times. Life will kick your ass to the point where you like, oh, so he think he gonna come and do this? Oh
Let
no,
me
no, no.
reevaluate. Let,
You
let
tripping.
me.
If you think, yo, you should have found me back years ago before I knew some things. But no, I think that is great advice for people that's not married, whether they're in a relationship right now or not in a relationship right now. Make them work for that shit.
Don't just pass it out.
For real. Don't just pass it because
And
they gonna
not
treat
just
you
your
like that.
body, your time, your energy. Don't just pass it. And because the living thing, I get that, because a lot of people, you don't know somebody, you live with them. If that ain't gonna be your husband or wife, you don't need to know them that well.
Mm-mm.
As harsh as that
Exactly. You
sounds, you
don't.
don't need to know them that well.
You really
You
don't.
don't. Plus, you
Um,
love living by yourself. It makes you reevaluate. Because then, if you've been by yourself and somebody come, you gonna go, do I want to stop living by myself to live with you? That's really how you think about it. Because I love living alone, baby.
man,
I loved it.
I
I loved it.
I
Loved
can't
it.
I can't imagine
Loved it.
sharing my space with somebody else now. Like that
It's gonna be hard.
seems
It's an
like it would be
adjustment.
a
It's an
nightmare.
adjustment. And it's not even that you don't like them. It's just
It's not your space anymore.
I
It's
miss
you
sleeping
guys'
like
space.
this. Just
Man,
sleep.
I'm
Just
telling you,
like that. But
I would
mm-mm.
I would often lay in bed in what I would call the Jesus Christ pose.
Just laid out. Cause you can't.
Just because you
It's your
can.
king size bed. Who gonna stop you?
Hmm.
Nobody.
Man, when me and the 6-year mistake was together and we was in that king size bed, especially near the end when we weren't really sleeping together that much, I loved it when his ass didn't come to bed. I was like, so much space. Oh my God.
So much room for activity.
Man, I'm like, I could just roll around 3 times in this bed because I was much smaller at that time. I was like, God, all this space. I don't want to share this. And then when he would come up to me, I was like, I gotta share this bed with his big ass.
And I used to have 3 blankets when I was alone.
Ugh. And I got a lot of pillows in my bed.
Oh, such a good time. I miss it. Still
Yeah.
love my husband though.
Yeah, that's what it doesn't mean you don't love who you're with any less. It's just you miss it sometimes. But the second piece of advice this woman had was until he puts an engagement ring on your finger, continue to date other men to find the right partner for marriage. Stop being monogamous with a man who hasn't shown a commitment to marry you. Women become monogamous too soon and often with a man who continues to date numerous women at the same time. So this one man ends up wasting 5 to 10 years of a woman's life while she waits for a marriage proposal. In the meantime, he continues to enjoy numerous relationships with other women.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
Wanna know why?
Why?
Nobody told your silly ass to stay 5 years. I was raised, you around 2 years tops. If you ain't got no ring by them 2 years, girl, just go. Just leave. Just
See,
just go. Just go.
See, for me, that's not even the thing.
It depends on the conversation. It depends on
Right.
what
I'm
type
like,
of
that depends on if that's
relationship
what
y'all
y'all
planned on
want. If
having.
y'all talked about it and
Not
y'all
every
neither one of
relationship
y'all is
is for
checking for marriage,
marriage.
then
Sometimes you
2, 3,
just
4, 5, 6, 10 years, sure, whatever. If that's what y'all decided y'all want. However,
but it's always one person that
if
don't want
y'all
that though.
think if y'all
Mm-hmm.
talk to each other and both of y'all is like, yeah, we gonna be committed to each other, and this man is constantly cheating
Just
on you,
go. Why are you
why are you
waiting?
letting that become 10 years
5 to
down the line?
10. Girl, you should have left 3 years ago.
3 years ago, you should have left him on cheating number 2 at the very most.
Hell, number one, when you found out. Because if you found out about one, there's 5 others. That's the one you found.
Oh my gosh.
But they
But
ain't that stealthy. When it get to here's how I feel. People
we've
hate when
talked
I
about
say
men
it.
and we've talked about men and women
When
cheating.
he get to the point where you catch on, baby, that's because he didn't really
He
care
don't
that much
care.
about you finding it. Because these men have whole other lives, okay? Entire other families. If he can't keep some chick that he only hang out with 3 times a secret, he didn't
Not
care
3
about
times.
hiding her. He didn't. But
But
anywho,
to some extent, I agree with the part about until he puts a ring on your finger,
do you, boo?
continue to date
Because
men.
you know I've said it.
Now, we've talked
Depends,
about
though.
we've
Depends.
talked about the difference between being in a relationship and dating.
Two
If you're
different
going to
things.
continue dating other people, then don't get in a relationship.
Just date.
Just date.
Because when you're only dating, you can do
You
whatever
can
the
do
hell
whatever
you
you
want to
want
do.
to do. And I think people
They
confuse.
think those terms are the
They think they're
same,
the
and they're
same. They use it
not.
interchangeably, and they are not interchangeable terms. Dating does not equal relationship. Relationship does not equal dating. If you're
Yeah.
dating, you are dating to see who you want to be in this
Most
relationship
times
with.
that means multiple people. Dating
Multiple
means
people.
multiple
And that does not
people.
mean that you are opening your
To
legs
all of
to
them.
everybody. Let's just get that
Yeah.
clear. It does not
Because
mean that.
at that point, you just fucking around.
Yeah,
That's
at
what you
that
do.
point, just call yourself a hoe because that's what you
You
are.
just having a good time. That's all you
And ain't
doing.
nothing wrong with that.
But don't try to say you dating. That's not what you doing.
You out here just letting it hang.
You having fun. You're
And
not
that's
dating.
okay.
Because dating means there's a goal of meeting someone at the end.
But I do agree that especially if you know you and somebody that's also seeing somebody else, just
Just
let
vibe
it
out.
hang.
Just vibe
Or
out.
say that we're in an open relationship.
Or say, you know what, I think I want something a little more serious, so this ain't gonna work. And go on about your
Go on
day.
about your merry way.
Hmm.
And that's completely, or at least it should be okay.
You know what? I
Now,
like that they're giving advice. You know what? Here's what I would do differently.
yeah.
Here's what I
Yeah,
would
I
do.
liked that a lot. And like I said, it was the fact that these are the videos that's pushing our videos. So I was like, maybe we should
Interesting.
do some episodes on these topics then, since they're the ones that's recommending our videos. And then I was just like,
What made them put that together?
people regretting marriage. And I was like, I thought marriage was on the decline anyway. And so that got me to Mr. Google again.
You and that Google and that chat. What y'all got going on today?
So I looked up, and actually this was with chat.
You and chat, your
And
buddy chat.
I went to chat and I said, hey chat. I actually didn't say hey chat, but
You
you
might as
did.
well.
Chat is cussing now.
Chat is adapting to you. That's all
Yeah, because you
chat
know
is
I
doing.
cuss.
Chat is adapting to you. Anywho.
But I said, so would you say marriage is on the decline? And he said, yes, marriage rate is definitely declining. It says, okay, so here's some quick stats on marriage.
All right.
Okay, quick breakdown. In the 1950s and 60s, marriage was almost a given. The average person married young, typically in their early 20s, and staying single into your 30s was rare.
Bad. It was considered bad.
Right. Today, more people are choosing to marry later or not at all. Stat check 1950s, marriage rate was around 9 to 10 marriages per 1,000 people. 2022, it dropped to 6.2 marriages per 1,000 people.
Crazy.
Median age at first marriage went from early 20s in the 1950s to 30 for men and 28 for women today. And then it goes into a couple reasons why it says that that's happening. It says career focus and financial independence for women, changing societal norms, being single or cohabitating is no longer taboo, and then high
True.
divorce awareness. So that's why chat says marriage is on a decline. But I wanted to give our thoughts on why we think marriage might be declining.
Well, I do agree with it said about the cohabitation. If you're already living together, you already got kids
Because
together,
people are
you done
already acting married,
already they
so
only thing missing is a piece of
piece of
paper and a
paper.
ring.
Exactly.
Literally. But then again, my brain will also go, if that's all was missing, why ain't you did it?
But my thing also is, if that's all
Well,
that's
not only
missing, then why
that,
feel the
you know
need
what
to?
I really think it is? People are realizing what a contract it really is. I think people now have a better understanding of what it, and on top of that, women have way more rights to have their own money,
And
have their
that's
own
what I
freedom, and
think that
that's
is
what
a
it.
really big part of it, at least from in my
Women's
opinion.
economic freedom is part of the
Women back
decline.
then, they didn't have as
They
many
needed
rights as
a
they
man.
do now. You
A
needed a
woman needed
man
a
to,
man to even have a bank account to the 70s. The
exactly.
70s, you couldn't even open a bank account without a man.
You couldn't
So
you couldn't get a bank account. You couldn't take out a loan. You couldn't get a house.
most
You
places
couldn't
wouldn't
do a
hire
lot of
you.
stuff as
Like,
a woman back then. And
mm-mm.
now it's like, I can do all that with my own money. I don't need his money. So what do I need him for?
Unless I like them. And
Exactly.
here's my thing. I don't think women or men have changed. I
Hmm.
just think the economy has changed.
Some
And
for the worse, some for the better.
a lot of, I hate to say it, but a lot of men have not adapted to this new economy where they are quote unquote optional and not a mandatory part of life. Because a lot of the things women do now is because everything our grandmothers told us not to do. It's not even that they're like, y'all ain't like your grandma. Grandma told me don't be like her. Grandma told me to be better. And that's a whole other conversation. A lot of our grandmothers like, hey girl, don't marry the first man that like you. Don't, they're telling us actively not to do. They like, hey, don't be like me. It's basically what they're saying. Don't have 8 kids. Don't
My
marry the first man that like you. Worry about yourself. Is what a lot of them are saying.
For me,
So it
because, and
is.
I can speak for me because I actually have no interest in getting married. I've never really wanted to get married. It just, I wasn't that girl that imagined, my wedding when I get older.
Yeah.
It's just like, it happens, it doesn't. And the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, nah, I'm good.
As I said, it's
Uh,
just
it is not
difference.
because of a contract thing. Is one, I don't want the government involved in my marriage at all. I don't see why I need to go get this piece of paper so that the
Mm-hmm.
government know that I chose to marry this man, just so that they could tax us differently, just so they can do all
Mm-hmm.
this other stuff differently. And then the other thing, and it kind of proved my point in my opinion. Um, I had a friend who recently found out that her husband of over 20 years never actually filed their
Yeah, that's
marriage
wild. That's
license.
wild.
So I guess legally they weren't considered to be married at that point then.
Mm-hmm. But she believing her
And I
life is
told
it.
her, I said, so are you
mm.
guys gonna get it like official?
She like,
And she was
yeah.
like, she said, yeah. She said, well, I have to for like medical stuff. I said, when was the last time a doctor asked you to see your marriage license? I said, never.
You could just say anybody's your spouse and
They
they'll
never
treat
ask for
them.
proof. They don't. And I'm like, so then what's the point of having it? Why do you need it? If they never, she was like, well, what if one of us die and something like that? I was like, you could easily have a will and a estate or something like that, because sometimes those things will override your marriage
They
anyway.
will.
So I'm like, so
They
then
will.
why not just get one of those in place? You
What you
don't
put in
need
that
the marriage
will don't matter
license.
who you married to. If you put in that will, that wife ain't getting nothing, she ain't
She
getting
ain't
nothing.
getting nothing.
Married or not.
And then I said,
So
and then I also said, so who officiated Adam and Eve's wedding? Tell me that. Where's their marriage license?
they don't got one.
Exactly. So I'm like, I don't buy it. Call me hopping on the bandwagon or whatever. I'm one of those people that think that you don't need to. I think that can literally just be an agreement between you and that person that y'all gonna be together for the rest of y'all life, and then it's just gonna be that way
I think
until
it's
one of
more
y'all decide.
complicated with kids and stuff. If it's just two people, because I can see why people do for the legalities once kids and stuff are involved. When it's just two people, it honestly don't matter.
But what does even having kids have to do with it?
Oh, it gets messy.
It gets messy regardless.
It gets
I mean,
messy.
I've seen married couples who once they or married people get divorced, they have kids, it's messy. Just as messy as when they weren't married and they not together no more.
And
And
that's
now they still
messy
have to
too.
figure out what's going on with these kids. And I'm like, so if you're gonna be in the shit anyway,
Well, it just depends on your value
because
system. If you value it, you
even
do. If
then,
you
even
don't,
if
you
the kid
don't.
ends up sick and the dad goes to the hospital, they ain't asking that dad, show me proof that you married to the mother. Like they never asked for this marriage certificate. So why are people so I don't understand why people are so they have to have it. I'm like, sure, if you want the ceremony, sure, have the ceremony, do whatever.
Because you know what I want to tell you, we can't even talk about it. But you know what I want to talk about, but we can't. But
But
it just depends on how you feel. To me, if you don't want to, don't.
exactly.
If you do just be careful, because I know from experience it's so easy to get married, but baby, it's
It's
harder to
hard to
get
get divorced.
divorced.
Yeah.
It's so easy to take your little butt to that little courthouse, fill out your little paper, have your little ceremony. It's not that damn easy when it's the other way around and it's time to get rid of the thing.
And then you
I
gotta go
think
through the whole
it.
name change
You got
and
to go to
all this
court to
other
get your
stuff.
own birth name back. That's wild. But
And
then
that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
they
I'm
should
like,
make it
it's
the other way
just
around. I think the marriage should be harder to get. And then divorce, because if the marriage was actually harder to get, less people would do it. I'm a firm
well,
believer.
according to chat, less people are doing it anyway.
Well, now with the way things are in the economy and everything, everybody's like, do I feel like doing this? I don't think I do.
I also think another reason why marriage is on a decline is that there's too many options available now.
Well,
Because we
no,
have
people
all these.
feel. The thing is, just because there's more people that you have access to, don't mean that it's gonna work out with them. That just means there's more people you have access to.
Well, that's what I mean. That's the problem. Is think about it. In 1950s, 60s, 70s,
There
whatever,
weren't that many people.
you
I
didn't
mean, it
have the
was,
dating
but
apps. I mean, if
you
you
couldn't
wanted
talk to
to
somebody 2 states over, and
exactly,
you,
if you
you
wanted
couldn't.
to do in their version of online dating, that was a cassette tape that was sent to them with somebody recorded on it,
I forgot about
pleading their
that.
case, saying how they are good people to be with. And then you had to respond to them, and that took a whole 60 days before y'all could even meet each other. Like, like it's just not the same anymore. Now you can literally start DMing somebody in another country, and before you know it, you done found you an African prince.
Hopefully, but anyway, hopefully that's what you got.
Yeah, so I'm just like, it's just so they've taken this really narrow area of people that you had to choose from, and now they've expanded it out to the
But
world.
here's the thing. Like I said, just because you have access
Yeah,
to
that
more
person also
people
has to like you too,
don't
but
mean you
well,
actually have more
in a perfect
options.
world, they have to like you
Yeah,
too.
that don't mean you have more options. That means you have access to more people. That don't mean you actually have more dating options. Cause that don't mean that they like you. That means they out there. Like that don't. And I'm always like, people. Everybody think is people just view people as replaceable, which
People
is
do.
sad.
I said
Which
before,
is
we live in a
sad.
replacement society now. Like that's just the
And people
reality.
aren't replaceable. But most
Most
people
people
don't
aren't.
realize, girl, the ones that matter are
And
not
that's why I said most people
replaceable.
aren't, but some of them are.
Some of them are.
I mean, I've
That
replaced some.
co-worker, you've been working that job for 3 months, you never see that person
I
again. You
don't give
don't
a damn if
care.
I've been working there for 6 years.
I will say something, but I ain't gonna say it, not on him.
I got coworkers that if I left my job right
I
now,
ain't gonna say it.
I would
Nope.
see them in a grocery store and act like I didn't know them.
Nope. Anyhow,
We're But
we
you
ain't
know
even
my
gonna.
stance on coworkers. We are not friends. I don't owe you speaking to you just because we work together Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
It's a lot of time.
I don't care. We're not
Okay.
friends. And I wouldn't be mad if they walked past me like they didn't know me.
Cause that has happened too. I'm like,
that has happened to me too.
Bitch. But
I have
I ain't
walked.
want to be your friend, but damn, we can at least say hey at the store. Damn.
I have walked past some people in the grocery store that I work with. And I'm just like, I don't know them. Like, we are not at work right now. Now, if I was to see them at the office, hey, how you doing?
You ain't shit.
I am in Meijer right now trying to get my groceries. Leave me alone.
You're a terrible person.
I'll be a terrible person then. Like I said, I wouldn't be mad if they did it to me.
I did. I was mad. Anywho.
I didn't do it to you.
Not you.
Oh, I about to say, did I?
No.
Shit. Because I
We
could have.
ain't got outside of work.
So there was a time where we worked together and we didn't.
Still.
And we always lived on the same side of town.
I'm surprised I didn't run into you.
That's because you like Kroger. I like Meijer.
True.
So, anyway. But speaking of, you had brought up divorce. And
boy, that's just a struggle.
Yeah, because you've been through it.
Sure did. I did it myself too. I didn't even do a lawyer. I said, I ain't paying nobody. Not that I'm doing this divorce myself.
So, what do you think? Somebody had posed this question and I thought I'd steal it. Do you think divorce should be illegal?
No.
Why?
Because some of those people need to be gotten rid of. Now here's what I think. I think the option of saying irreconcilable differences and not saying anything else should be gotten rid of.
Okay.
You knew this was going to be a commitment when you did it. You knew it. You can't say, well, we just don't get along no more. Baby, that ain't good enough for me.
Yeah. I mean, so then that brings up the question of, does unconditional love actually exist?
No. Everything is conditional.
And because I'm like, if y'all just, because there's people that literally get divorced and it's just because they just don't get along anymore. And it's like, but did you try?
And like I said, shit
did you
like
try
that.
Therapy? Did you try couples counseling?
And I think that's what they
talking
need to
to your
do.
mama?
I think they say, now if somebody cheat, I think that's the end. Like, well, because that null and voids the little contract y'all got. Like, oh, okay, you want to dip and dab on me?
Dip and dab.
It's over.
But what if they dipping and dabbing on each other?
Because that was my case.
That's what I said.
That's when we were like, you know what? We both for the streets.
Sometimes you just for the streets.
We shouldn't have did it. I mean,
but that's also why I tell people I don't think people should get married before they're 30. Or at least late 20s.
Because you don't really know. You don't know yourself. You don't know who you are until life presents you something. And so while you young and you 23 and you naked at a party, life ain't gave you nothing but having a good time.
I like I said, I stand on this. I know it might be terrible advice to some people, but if you in your early 20s, go out and kiss a stranger. Like, go out and have fun.
I don't know about stranger mono was real. But
and it's also curable. It just feels like a cold.
I ain't had it.
I ain't had it either, but I've seen somebody that had it and she looked like she was doing okay.
You know, sickness is different in everybody.
I'm just saying, if you got a compromised immune system, sure, don't go kiss a stranger, but go have fun. Don't worry about getting married until you're in your late 20s or early 30s.
It depends, because some people really are romantics at heart and they desire this. They want it. They think nothing
romanticize
of
these nuts.
Let me tell you. Because when I was younger, I did that. And then I got older, I said, because everybody was so surprised I went to the courthouse because they assumed I was the type that would have a $50,000 wedding, right? And I said, I thought I would be that person too. It actually surprised me.
I never thought I would be that person.
Because I don't get, first of all, I don't like none of y'all enough. If I got $50,000, I'm getting me a new car. I'm not having no one day wedding.
On the vacation of my life. That's what I'm doing.
I am getting a new car. Then we going on vacation afterwards. After I buy the new damn car. I'm not spending it. Matter of fact, that's a good chunk of how much we own that house. I wouldn't spend it on that.
But yeah, I don't think divorce should be illegal either.
I think it should be harder to get out of.
I do think it should be harder to get out of depending on the reason.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, he annoyed me because his feet is always cold. Like,
while that is annoying.
I'm sure
we do have heated blankets and socks.
But You also know that I have said if I were to get married, I instantly need to buy a new house.
I done told you that mess ain't gonna work.
Because you know where I'm going with
That is a
this.
roommate. That ain't room. That's a neighbor. I don't know what you trying to do.
I want to have separate bedrooms.
I mean, they
I'm
used to
not
do that. They did
willing
used to
to
do
give
that.
up my bed by myself.
They did used
So
to do
I
that.
would need a room for the podcast, a room for the art, a guest room, a room where me and him can sleep together when we want to do our business, and then two separate rooms for each, one in each room.
Might as well. Girl, what build a house you think you finna have for all that?
But that's why
Oh.
that's why we both got to be rich. Cause who
Y'all
gonna pay for
both
that
gotta
big ass
have two
house?
4-bedroom house.
Yes. I mean, honestly, if we want to make it even better, we could have separate houses and just put like a whole walkway. You know how the hospitals and the airport
Mm-hmm.
have that little
Get a
the
walkway.
walkway that's connecting the two buildings? That would be perfect in my opinion. Like, leave me alone.
Then you don't want to be married, hon.
I don't want to be married. You're right, I really don't. But if I were to get married, that would be my ideal situation.
So you want a permanent booty call is what it
I would
sounds like.
love a permanent booty call.
That's
That sounds great.
Ain't that what a partner is in essence? Except they give you even more than that. They give you more than that. If they're a good partner, that is.
I just don't want I don't want you sleeping in my bed every night. And if I'm not in the mood to be bothered with you, I want to be able to tell you, can you go to your house?
I mean, I'm sure there's somebody that feels the same way. Y'all just gotta find each other. Y'all just gotta find each other and y'all
Look,
can be happy ever.
he
And
gonna
y'all
have
two separate houses. Y'all just gotta figure
he
out
gonna
where
have to
y'all wanna
knock on my
live.
door then, cause I ain't going nowhere.
I mean, you are on the internet. Ain't that
Mm.
what we doing? Ain't you out here
I
in the
guess it is.
in the world?
I never think about how the podcast is actually posted on the internet and how, like, I guess people would start DMing and
You
stuff
can
like
be
that. But
fair.
I ain't.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel.
Shut up. But anyway, I am of the mindset though, when it comes to marriage, whoever I do end up marrying, they better know that they want me. Because once I'm married, you're stuck with
Well, I
me.
already said it. I was like, see, I was playing the first time, but this time it's like that song
The
by the
only
band
way out,
Perry. You better dig 2 graves when one of us
yeah,
die, cause we
the
both
only way
going.
out is 6 feet under.
Sorry, sorry about you. I don't love you anymore.
Well,
Well,
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I love you. Sorry,
I'm Even if I don't, I'm sorry you feel that way.
we in this together.
Cause we are shackled.
Together forever. Make
Okay.
our dreams come true. I love High School Musical.
Passionately.
Don't get that song stuck in my head.
Um,
Don't.
but I we're just stuck together. I'm sorry. We're like glue. You can't get rid of me no more. And I'm gonna be annoying. I'm whoever I end up married. They just better know I'm gonna be an annoying person
Why would you want to be?
because I'm just generally am. Expect you haven't seen me when I'm in a relationship with somebody. I
No.
can be quite annoying.
Why?
They tend to actually like it though.
But why?
I
You mean
don't know.
annoying as far as clingy?
No, not clingy. I used to be clingy. I'm not clingy anymore because I don't want nobody being clingy with me. I used to be
What do you
clingy.
mean annoying?
I just like to play around and stuff.
Oh, see, that would irritate me. Baby, what? Cause Victor's like that. And sometimes I'll be like, now look, I ain't in the goddamn mood for this shit. Leave me the
See, I like
hell
to play around.
alone.
Me and the Six they used to play with each other all the
Oh,
time.
girl, I would be so annoyed. Don't tickle me when I ain't in the mood.
Oh, me and Nate used to tickle me all the
I
damn
hate
time.
being. I literally hate it. The laughter is involuntary. It's not because I'm enjoying it. I hate it.
Like, I don't like being tickled, but I
I
also love being tickled.
hate it.
I I hate when people think they tickling you and all they doing is poking your back fat.
Yeah,
It's like, come on now, that
that ain't doing
hurts.
nothing.
That hurts. But if you actually know how to tickle somebody,
I hate it.
look, I both hate it and I don't, and I love it. I hate it because it makes you it makes you lose control of some bodily functions
I don't be just
sometimes.
hooting every fucking
If they tickle you too damn long
toot toot
and you can't control it,
toot toot.
sometimes a little tooth to come out, and then you be sitting there embarrassed. And I have done that before because they wouldn't stop tickling
You
me when
like,
I told them to
please.
stop. I was like, stop it, because you contracting your stomach.
Yeah.
How you gonna stop it from coming out?
Luckily, that ain't happened to me.
It has happened to me before. Uh, but yeah, once you with me, once we married,
I don't like that.
it's a wrap.
See, I'm nice, but I'm not. So I don't know. It just sometimes it don't take much for me to be aggravated. Sometimes I'm just like, you breathing too loud next to me. Get away from me. What you
No,
want me to do? Stop breathing? Yes. Get away from me.
nah, it's the eating for me. Luckily, I haven't.
I don't care about that. But then I'm the one annoying people when I eat. I'm not the one
Man,
being
when I heard you
annoyed.
eating that popcorn earlier, I could have hit you.
I was tearing that shit up.
You was smacking like a mug on that popcorn. I said,
I was
let me keep,
hungry.
and that's the only reason I didn't say anything, because I was like, this girl must be starving.
You know I be fast and I'm hungry.
But so I actually have a couple more questions that I just think marriage
What
is
is
like
it?
such a crazy
It's
topic.
a dividing topic, which is what I find interesting.
Um, what advice would you give somebody before they
Like
get
what before the
married?
wedding night and they
Before
about to get married.
I would say before, like if they know that their significant other is near the point where they're going to propose, what advice would you give them? I think the marriage is a little too late to be giving advice. Because what if your advice was like, I'll wait?
It's not even about waiting for one. If you can't answer, like when somebody says, "Who are you?" and you can't answer it, baby, don't get married.
That was
Like
literally, you literally
don't
stole that
do
one from
it.
me, because I literally
Don't
thought the
do
same
it.
thing. I was like, if
Don't
you
do
don't
it.
know who you are really, don't do it.
If you don't have a 5-year goal of where you want your life to be, don't do it. It ain't the time. You don't know yourself. You don't know what you want to do.
And
Or
trust your gut.
yeah.
Some people will still go through with that marriage, even though they're like,
Mhm.
something seems
And
off.
also, ain't nothing wrong with my casing somebody. It ain't.
With what?
Looking somebody up to see their criminal history.
Oh yeah,
Don't even
no.
tell them you did it.
Honestly, if I was to go on a date with
Just
somebody and he
do
was
it.
like, "Hey, just FYI, I looked you up on my case," I'd be like,
I hope
"Same,
you did because I looked you up.
same. You're lucky you came back clean, because if you didn't, I wouldn't be here."
You know, like just knowing yourself. If you know what you want, you'll make the right decision. If you're unsure, you don't know what you want to do, you don't know what you want from
Know
life.
what you're willing to put up
Yeah,
with.
again, knowing yourself.
Because, and I would say that's more important, honestly. If you know what you're willing to put up with, you know what you want.
Mm-hmm.
um because I think so many people go into these marriage, what baffles me is the people that go into marriages knowing that the spouse is a piece of shit.
They think they're gonna change.
It's like, wait, so you thought him saying "I do" would have all of a sudden made him a better human being?
Well, what I've discovered, well, what I've seen too, the the person that you marry on your wedding day is the best version of themselves. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't like who they are on that day, baby, they
Please
do
don't get
not get
married to
better.
them. Please do not get married to them. If
It
you
goes
don't,
decline. It declines. It does not go up. They're not going to magically, after getting married, be a better person. They're going to, who they are the wedding day is the best version you will ever go get.
my thing is, what's the incentive to change at that point?
That's why I said that's the best version
What's the incentive to
you're
change?
ever going to get is that person on the wedding day. That's it. So if on the wedding day you have a whole laundry list of things that you would change about them, don't even do it.
I think that's
Don't
the
even
best
do it.
advice.
Don't do it.
Spend time getting to know yourself, which that's another reason why I say I don't think people should be getting married in their early
Spend
20s.
time getting to actually know the
Spend
other
time.
person.
I mean, after high school, you
Hmm.
going to college, most people, some people.
You gonna go
You
out. You gonna
spending
be out
time
in
with
the
a bunch of
world.
friends. You
Mm-hmm.
hooking up with a bunch of people. Not all people, some people. Um, you're not really spending time learning who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going through the motions.
You just doing stuff.
Yeah, you're just doing stuff. You're having fun. Um, spend time with yourself. Spend time learning who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you're willing to put up with, what you're not willing to
Mm-hmm.
put up with. And then you start thinking about, okay, I
Yeah.
think I might be ready to marry somebody now.
You gotta know yourself first. Cause once you know yourself, you'll know what you're gonna put up with, what you're not gonna put up with, what you want, what you do want. You gotta know yourself first to even be able to do all of that. To navigate. And then also don't get lost in this we thing and forget that there is a you.
You,
Don't get
man,
lost in
do
the
not lose.
we.
Don't spend the time learning yourself just to lose it.
Yeah, don't get lost in the we and forget that there's a you.
Because there is a we, especially once you start talking about marriage.
That's why I said don't get
However,
lost in it. Don't
however,
get
you
lost
have
in
to
it.
keep that. Nah, it's me. It's me.
Don't get lost in the husband, wife, father, mother titles and then forget about yourself. Don't do that.
Yeah, because then, especially when it comes to kids, because what happens a lot is people get so wrapped up in their kids, which I get to an extent. But then when that child gets old enough and they moving out, they going to college and stuff, the parents sitting there looking like, well, what do I do with my life? And it's like, you completely lost yourself.
Because I would be so offended if when these kids move out, Victor got the gall to look at me and go, what are we gonna do? I don't know what to do with myself. Oh, okay, I'm chopped liver. I'm right here. The hell you mean you don't know what you gonna do? Like I ain't even in the room. Okay. I
See,
would be so offended.
and I'm thinking about like single parents and stuff. Um, but yeah, like spend time with yourself. I think that is the best advice anybody
I'm
could
telling
give
you, it'll make
anybody
everything
is
else
to
fall
spend
into
time
place. Yeah, please
with them.
don't knock that.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna knock it down.
I got scared too. I was looking too like, please don't knock that.
Uh,
I ain't in.
well, let's talk about the big debate.
What's the big debate?
Is it Satel as old as time?
Beauty.
I knew it was coming. I knew it. I was like, there's no way she's gonna let that slide.
I'm not.
There's no way. That's why I just didn't start talking. I was like,
Tell
cause it's
as old
coming.
as time. Idiot. You knew what I was gonna do.
um, is it okay for your partner to
Mhm.
have friends of the opposite sex? Because I have thoughts on this.
Let me think about what I'm gonna say because I know what I want to say. Because see, it depends though. It depends.
On
Was this person here before I got here?
that's my thing.
And
I
no
said
new female friends. I'm sorry,
no new
no new
ones.
ones. New old
No
ones,
new ones.
fine. New ones,
I'll put
no.
up with your old female friends, but you're not getting any. You're not thinking you about to come around me
Because
talking about some.
first of
Oh,
all,
I got this new female friend.
brown sugar has traumatized us all.
I don't even remember that, but
Don't trust them. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, it depends. Were they friends? Now, if they were friends
if they were
before
friends
I
before
even
I
showed
came
up, I
around,
have nothing to
that's
say.
perfectly fine.
But your new friend from 2 months, no, she got to go. I don't care what
Sorry,
nobody say. She got to go. Because
you can
that's
get
like
them when I'm
me
done with them.
coming to coming to my husband. Yeah, I got this new friend. It's my new best buddy. He gonna be like, is he gay? Because if he's straight, we both finna be at this
Hmm.
hangout. You ain't going nowhere alone. Matter of fact, let's have a double date. He got somebody he date. He got a
Right.
wife. He got a girlfriend.
Call me insecure. Call me whatever you want to.
It's not even
But
about.
but you know that's where people gonna go with
See,
it.
to me, it's not about them per se. It's like, okay, it's the people
Here's
that
the.
they bring into it. So let's say this
I don't
new
trust them.
friend, yeah, like it's this new
And
friend, and then let's say they want to bring their friends around, and of course they got all their little friends, and next thing you know, your significant other in the phone with somebody else.
here's my thing
I
too.
ain't in the mood.
I also don't want to be the new friend either.
I'm not being nobody
I'm
new
not
friend.
befriending nobody that I know has a girlfriend. No. Now, like Nate's situation. Me and Nate was friends. He like right now, he's single, to my knowledge. If he was to get a girlfriend now, not gonna stop being friends with him because I've been here for 10 years. I
Yeah,
don't
but
give a
you ain't
damn.
popping up every single day and doing all that
Exactly.
other crazy mess.
But I'm like, I'm not okay with like, I'm not comfortable befriending a dude that has a girlfriend because that just feels weird. I damn sure wouldn't hang out with Victor. Like,
I
what?
don't hang out with men in relationships alone. I don't. I find it.
Now, like I said, if
I
it was somebody that
don't.
I was friends with before that relationship happened, yeah, I wouldn't mind hanging out with you. But if this is like, oh, I just met you and you got a girlfriend from even yesterday, she became your girlfriend. It was nice to meet you, but I can't be friends with you.
Cause most time you meet those people through work and they can stay at work. They can stay
Stay at
right on
work.
over there. They can stay. You don't got to see them outside.
Like me and my boss, if he wasn't married, we make good friends. Not attracted to him at all. But we'd be good friends. But he has a wife, wouldn't dare hang out with him by myself. What? And honestly, I won't even go to lunch with him by myself. Just because I don't want nobody being able to think nothing.
To me, it's just a respect thing. It's not even
That's
that.
my thing. It's
It's just
respect.
I'm
And
not doing
that's I
it.
respect other people's relationships just like I would want people to respect mine.
I ain't doing that. Even if it's not even that. You think they gonna cheat on you now? No, I just don't want the idea. It don't. The thing is, even if
Perceptions
yeah,
matter.
and I don't even want the idea of that
Perceptions matter.
thinking.
And I think people don't take into consideration how important perceptions are. Um,
Because somebody see your significant other out
exactly.
gallivanting with somebody, they're gonna be like,
Is that who I think it
it
is?
invites other things that have nothing to do necessarily
And
with
it
the
could be the
person
most
that they
innocent
hanging out
thing.
with.
And just because somebody saw you, they
And
like,
that's my thing. It's not about just necessarily the person. It's like, okay, it's about what message that sends out to other people.
like I said,
Even though old
perception.
girl might not be doing anything wrong, they legit are at Hobby Lobby doing nothing. It's not that. It's just the perception invites other people who own mess
Mm-hmm.
that ain't got nothing to do with the other person of the opposite sex. It just invites other things that no one's in the mood for.
No one.
The drama, people gonna be start making up stories. Now they gonna say they seen your husband somewhere they ain't seen him. They gonna say they seen your wife somewhere they ain't seen him. It just brings unnecessary drama.
Now,
It
like I
just
said, when
do.
it comes to them having friends of the opposite sex,
Old friends, yes. New friends, no.
that's my stance.
That's my
Old
stance too.
friends, okay.
New
New
friends,
friends, hell
no.
no. Hell no.
New friend
Cause
gotta go.
cause no, yeah, you gotta go. I'm sorry. You seem like such a great person, but you gotta go. And that's that. Period. Point blank. Done.
I've always felt that way. I don't care how petty it is. It's how I feel.
That's why I said, people gonna be like, oh, y'all just sound like y'all insecure. Call me insecure.
First of all, we done fully explained our reasoning.
Call me insecure. I don't care.
Call me Issa Rae. I don't care because baby, call me
Because it
what you
ain't
want.
happening either way. Take her back to wherever you got her from. Because she ain't your friend. Period. So
Mm.
it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. So let's go ahead and get into the weekly Reddit.
Yeah, what's in the weekly Reddit?
This one is titled, How Do You Deal with Losing Friends to Marriage?
Happens, unfortunately.
It says, a
Happens.
few years ago, I lost a friend to marriage. Basically, she got engaged and informed me that we could no longer hang out or talk since her fiance did not want her having any guy friends, and she felt that such a request was completely reasonable. This kind of pissed me off as I had never thought of her romantically, and the idea that I would after she got engaged is kind of insulting from my perspective. Another instance of this happened last year when another close friend of mine, a guy this time, got married. Even though we had known each other for many years, he never informed me that he was engaged or that he was getting married, and I only found out that he was married via Instagram. After this, he kind of stopped making time for or talking to his friends as his wife became his only priority. I'm not against people enjoying happily ever after with their significant others. But I see no reason why you can't have a significant other and friends at the same time. Marriage seems to be based around the idea that you can only truly love someone if you dedicate yourself to them 100% and cut out every other person from your life. To me, marriage seems like a system of willful, toxic codependency. Anyway, has anyone else ever lost a friend to marriage, and how do you deal with it?
My thing is, you are supposed to put your spouse above everybody else.
Except the kids.
Yeah. No, them too.
No, your kids come before the
That's
spouse.
what it says. Now, I'm not going to do that, but that's what it say. But my thing is, so you mean to tell me in all the years you've been friends with this girl, y'all never thought to have a conversation about how, okay, you are a male and I am a woman. Now that I'm married, I'm not going to ditch you per se, but we can't be. It's like, well, I feel like for one, she should have maybe told her friend about that because that was not the first time her husband had that conversation with her. He probably done brought up not liking her little friend from the get go.
Yeah, and
And
there's a difference between
she,
saying, I'm not gonna completely ditch you, but we can't hang out as much.
but she
And
just
then,
ditched him. That's
yeah,
wild.
she completely
That's
cut off
wild.
ties. And
That's a
I
toxic
think that
situation.
is
That's a
wild.
toxic
And
situation.
I think it's even worse. Not even that. The second situation where the guy friend never even told him he was married.
And I'm sure that was his future wife's doing. I'm
I'm like,
sure.
so why are you
That's
finding
it. But
out
the
that
thing
your
is,
friend of many years?
his two examples are really toxic, though. They're not the norm. They're not
My
the
stance on this is,
norm.
one, he should be happy that they're not in his life because they sound
Those were
incredibly
not the
toxic.
norm
And I'm like,
situations.
second,
Mm-mm.
I we literally just talked about this. We just said it. Friends that you already had, like, I agree with you. Especially with the woman. That's not the guy's first time talking about that. That had to be like a stipulation on him
And he
marrying
told her once
her.
they got married, okay, once
You
you get
have to
married,
let
he
him
gotta
go.
go.
And she should have told him that at that
Mm-hmm.
point. But my thing is this. There's no dude, and actually I did have this happen. I had matched with somebody on some dating site and we was talking and it was going really well actually. And he found out that I had male friends and he told me that he couldn't talk to me anymore because I had male
A lot of
friends.
people feel that
And
way.
that if I wanted to continue to talk to him, I needed to get rid of my male
I'm
friends.
not getting rid of them.
And
I
I'm just
know
like,
you.
what? It's what? No. So you expect me to dump people out of my life that doesn't deserve to be dumped from my life just because you said they should be dumped from my life? That's crazy.
Like I said, he chose two really toxic examples.
I mean,
Most
well, they're his
people,
examples.
I mean, most people kind of just fade a little bit. Like they still there, but they're just not as present. And that
And
happens.
I think that's reasonable,
That
especially at the
happens.
beginning of a marriage.
When you try to figure out your life together, figure out what you gonna do, figure out how y'all gonna navigate together. But the dude completely ghosting even his male friends is nuts. He's
Right.
married to a psycho, and once they get divorced, he'll come back.
But
And
at that point, do you want them back? I
he's
wouldn't.
a prisoner at this point. You need to see if he
Because
okay.
look, he need to
And
put his big boy pants on then. I'm sorry.
hey, men get into marriages that are emotionally not well for them just as much as
I know
women
they
do.
do.
They
I
do.
know they do. But my stance on it is I can't, because here's why I said I wouldn't accept them back in my life.
You'll turn on
Because
me and admit I don't trust
yeah.
your ass,
I'm like, I
but
can't trust you. Soon as you get another
you
girlfriend,
gonna ditch
you
me
gonna end
again.
up being married to her, and I ain't gonna find. I'm gonna wait for the Instagram post again to find out, and then all of a sudden I'm cut for your life from your life again. How can you trust somebody like that?
He just gave two badass examples.
But
He
those,
just got toxic friends, is what we're
yeah,
learning
like
about this.
honestly, if I was him, I would do some reflection and see what you are doing to attract this type of person into your life.
They just sound like real. But again, this is part of the don't get so wrapped up in the we that you forget about the me. It's the situation I'm getting like, girl, you knew that man was your friend. And when your little boyfriend, fiance, husband,
Whatever.
when he first start bringing it up, you should have been like, oh, sorry you feel that way. But he been around
He
long before you got here. Now, what I will do is tell you I'll never hang out with him alone if that makes you feel comfortable. But I'm not gonna ditch him because we was friends first before you got here.
right.
That's how that can go. Like, well, I promise you, you know that I won't
I
hang
mean,
out
and
with him
honestly, it
alone.
depends on how close that friendship was too. If I say the stipulation with not hanging out with him alone. I'm like, if that friend has been with me through thick and thin, helped me through some terrible times, I'm sorry, you don't have to get over your little
Well, I'm just
insecurities.
saying, if she felt like she wanted to listen to him that bad, that could have been a
True.
compromise that was given. But I feel like that was a real coward move of her because he done said it long before he said something. Long before
Oh
she
yeah,
said
she
something,
had to have sat
that
on
was a
that.
coward ass
I
move.
think both of them was coward ass moves.
It was
Could you
crazy.
imagine me getting married and then you find out that I got married from Instagram?
I slash your tires. I swear, I'm like,
Like
you would go to work and I would just,
you literally open up Instagram and there's pictures of us both like this.
and you will come back for work and only 3 tires will be deflated because if I do all four, insurance will pay. And 3 would be messed up.
And then I'll be like, well, I guess Jay found out. Like that's
Just be a
just
note, bitch. Your tires fucked up.
that's what you get.
Thought we was friends. I ain't even
Exactly.
a bridesmaid, you dirty bitch. I would be so mad. And
Exactly. That's what I'm like. That's a coward move. How do you not invite your friend of many years
he figure out the wisdom.
through Instagram? I can't, like, what would y'all do if y'all found out y'all bestest friend got married, didn't tell you, and you found out from social media? Next, you gonna tell me you ain't never even met the damn spouse.
Seem in that way.
I think that's
Seeming.
absolutely wild.
I said
What?
these were extreme examples of foolishness that, for the most part, does not
The
happen.
crazy thing is, these are people's lives, it seems like most of the time. And I'm just like,
Because people are off the
maybe my life ain't
rails.
that terrible.
I didn't tell my husband he couldn't befriend nobody. I didn't tell him to get rid of
And you
anybody.
shouldn't. And you
Because there
shouldn't.
are unsavory people. But I have said nothing about said unsavory
Well, I'm
people.
sure he gonna guess if he watches this talking
No,
about
he
some
won't.
they're
Because I ain't
unsavory
said
people.
shit about it.
He
He'll
gonna
never
ask you, who
know.
are the unsavory
And I'm going to
people?
say none of your business.
I'm about to say, because you know you
Um,
ain't gonna lie.
I'm not going to ruin nobody's friendship. I will say nothing.
Well, just know if you do tell him the truth, that gives him the ability to tell you who your unsavory friends are.
And I'm sure he got some.
Shit, I might be one of them.
No, I don't think you are.
I think it's funny if he thought I was one of the unsavory ones.
No, I don't think I have unsavory
Of
friends.
course, you wouldn't think that. You're biased.
No, this is factual.
I
I don't
mean,
have unsavory. I don't have unsavory friends. I
we got
just
some
don't.
unsavory traits sometimes, but overall,
I'm
we're
the
good people.
unsavory friend, I think, when I really
Why?
think about it.
Why?
I'm always trying to get everybody to break up with whoever
You
they.
what?
I'm always trying to encourage everybody to break up with who
Girl, you
they.
just trying to encourage people just so you can see the downfall.
No, I want them to have better. It's not about a
I ain't even
downfall.
talking about relationships. I'm just talking
Talk
about
about in
in
life.
general. You will try to convince people to get the craziest shit just so that you can
No,
see if they'll do it.
no. Because the thing is, I do the crazy shit I advise people
Like
to
when you tried
do.
to get that damn student to get a car, knowing damn well she can't afford one.
She know how much money she got. You ain't finna pin this on me.
Nah, you know what? You just go buy it. You should do it.
And I meant it.
And why would you tell her to do that, knowing damn well she couldn't afford the
She
one
could
she
have been
had?
like, don't you got a car you've been having paid off for years that you complain about constantly but won't get rid of?
Jade is low key a bad influence.
It ain't low key, it's true.
I am too, though, to be honest.
We both are.
I send somebody off in a minute.
But the problem is, We both, but thing is, we got the common sense to judge when somebody is booing. I'm like, okay, Jocelyn, this is foolishness. You spewing at me, and I ain't doing it.
But
And
that's
you
why I
think
had to
the
tell your ass.
same thing.
I had to tell you. I said, stop telling that girl that, cause she'll go do it. I said, stop it.
Ain't my fault. She dumb. What you want me to do?
See, this is the shit that I'm talking about. People don't think you say stuff like this. It ain't my fault. She dumb. What?
Girl, no, she ain't had no money. She talking about you want to do it. I'm like, well, you already got it in your mind. You're doing it. If you're telling people from work you're gonna do it, you obviously want to.
There's
Turns
a
out
lot
she
of
was a
things I
liar
want to do.
anyway. She was a liar anyway.
There's a lot of things that I want to do that I shouldn't do.
That's life.
You know what I plan to go to jail for in June.
Girl, depending on how riled up I am, we might both be in there.
That's what I keep telling people. I said, Jade is going to be right there with me. I said,
You gonna have one, I'm gonna have the
exactly.
other.
We both throwing them in the back of the Jeep.
You know, we might be taller than both of them.
I'm definitely taller than both of them.
We could take them, I feel.
I got at least 6 inches on what's his name.
Whatever. 6 inches, that's a stretch. That is a
He's
whole
only like
stretch.
5'2".
That's a stretch. He ain't no damn 5'2".
Okay, he's 5'6".
I was like, you're reaching. You're reaching high for the sky.
But anyway, on that
Anywho.
note, we going to see Stray Kids in June, y'all.
In Atlanta.
Feel the rock.
Atlanta rock.
If you don't know who Stray Kids is, you're missing out because they make good music and you're missing out. Listen to Side Effects.
Oh, that's a good one. Such a good one. I'm mad they ain't gonna perform.
Da.
Mari Apu da 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 da. Hey! Oh, that song is good.
Especially if you like EDM. It's an EDM song.
Oh, so good.
But yes, we are going to see them in June. We got floor seats, them expensive ass tickets.
Because we too old for nosebleeders. We too damn old.
And I want to be able to dance.
With room.
And without feeling like I'm going to fall down the damn... Because I mean, you be up
them
and down...
Them steep. They steep.
Like shit. I be like, I can't move too much now. I ain't got the balance I used to have. Shit.
I'm wearing. I got to pick out some tennis shoes. I'm wearing because I'm not wearing.
Yeah, I'm
heels.
wearing tennis shoes. I'm not doing this whole. I'm not
I might do
dressing
an all
up.
black ensemble, maybe with some red.
It is gonna be Atlanta in the summer.
It's gonna be skimpy clothes. They just gonna be black.
I about to say, girl, you better not come in there with no all black on like that.
Yeah, I might get.
I'm gonna have some pants on with some holes in it. And I'm gonna make sure I have lotion on.
I might. Thank you. I might. Sick of your shit.
Okay. But yes, I will have. Honestly, I'll probably have on a shirt just like this one and some pants with some holes in it. I might have on shorts though.
I might do a mini skirt and combat boots.
Girl, I'm too old to be wearing a mini skirt.
Girl, if I could zip it up and putting it on.
Do you, boo-boo?
It's to celebrate my weight loss. You know my nail tech who I haven't seen in a couple of months noticed?
But it's hard not to notice, Jay. So if y'all want to hear something funny, I told Jade that she has activated my competitiveness.
Because you messy.
I said, one thing that will not happen is that the people that watch our show will not be in the comments talking about some, Jade, you look so much smaller. What are you doing? And then I'm sitting there growing.
You ain't growing.
Girl, you're right, I haven't. But I damn sure ain't lost. And I was just like, people ain't gonna be looking at that side by side comparison and be like, Jocelyn, what the fuck? What are you doing? Besides eating honey buns.
Girl, I want a honey bun so bad.
And somebody at community was talking to me about it. And I told them, I was like, as soon as I see a comment come on there talking about how much weight Jade lost, I'ma delete it.
You're terrible.
I'ma flag that shit. They better say both y'all look like y'all losing weight.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
And I'm not.
What if I see it first? I ain't got time for your ass.
It don't matter. I don't care if you see it first or not. I'm still deleting it.
I'm like, girl, put that goddamn comment. Sick of your shit.
I'm gonna be like flagged. And I'm gonna do the neck twirl and everything. I'm petty, you know that. My pettiness knows no bounds.
Page, because it's also my page.
Exactly.
Sick of your shit.
You know my pettiness has no bounds.
Oh, girl, you funny.
I was like, shit. And you know I'm a sabotager.
It won't work.
And since I can't sabotage you with food, I'm gonna make sure that nobody can comment.
What's wrong with you?
Whatever makes it where I don't need to do what I need to do to lose the weight.
Girl, you know what to do.
I know I do. I just don't want to do it.
And it ain't fun, but it works.
This show ain't fun.
I had tuna for lunch.
Ew.
I'm in the struggle.
Your breath was stinking?
I got mints.
Good. But anywho, this was a good one. Thank you guys for allowing us to entertain you. Hopefully you did find us entertaining.
Yes.
I think we're a good time, but we're not everybody's cup of tea, and that is understandable.
Not everybody is cultured enough to like tea, and that's your problem.
Okay. I love tea. I should just gave a bunch of tea away,
girl,
too.
You know I love some tea. Who you give it to?
Alex.
So you know I like that tea. Okay.
Jay. This was all old ass tea.
Oh, it wasn't fresh. Okay.
No, this tea was like at least a year old.
Okay.
I hope it don't make his ass sick, but I don't think it has an expiration date.
Just some little leaves and stuff. They gonna make
some leaves and some freeze dried fruit.
He be alright.
But anyway, thanks for allowing us to entertain you for this TED Talk.
Marriage edition.
And if you would please, if you feel so inclined, could you guys please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share,
rate,
rate and review us on the audio platforms. We're really trying to grow there, so any engagement we can get there would be greatly appreciated.
Please and thank you.
Otherwise, we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye, friends.